Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up podcast. Burundi Ron Francis, I almost said Rob Francis as it's written down in our notes, has stepped down as president of hockey ops in Seattle. I believe he was the president of hockey ops since the team started, right? At
Well,
expansion,
he was the GM and then kind of
GM and got
became
promoted.
president. Yeah.
Right. Uh, I think this is a long time coming, right? Like,
Yeah,
they've made
this is
some decent moves,
huge for
but
Seattle.
it yeah, it's been a series of L's for the most part. They've done some good things in Seattle, but I mean, what is that? 5 years? I think this is their fifth year in the league already, and they've got one playoff berth, I believe, to show for it. The rebuild doesn't look like it's going overwhelmingly good. Like maybe you got a diamond in the rough in Shane Wright flipping to fourth, but right now it doesn't look like it so far. Matty Beniers hasn't panned out the way the second overall pick you'd hope would. Like they've done some good stuff there, but it's not going the right way. And I think it mostly sealed his fate at this deadline where they bought instead of selling. And well, I think they're fifth last in the league now, so it's pretty evident they should have sold a little bit harder.
Well, and that's the thing with Seattle, right? Like you did say that, they have made some good moves, but all those good moves involved selling. I off the top of my head, I can't really the only thing, and again, they shouldn't have done it, but their best move in terms of buying is getting Bobby McMahon because he's looks like their best player at this point. And again, they shouldn't have even bought on him because you weren't going to make the playoffs. It was a team that was overachieving and was eventually going to come back down to earth, especially with other teams around them, kind of buying in,
Right.
and being more aggressive than them. And yeah, you had a lot of older pending UFAs that you could have moved out, got some draft picks back, prospects, whatever, and you hold on to them, and now you're going to lose a couple of them. That's just lost value at that point. And
Yeah.
they what are they on, a 6-game losing streak? I believe at the moment. Like they're completely out of the playoff race. At the deadline, they were in a playoff spot.
Yeah, currently 6 games. They're 1-7-2 in their last 10.
Yeah,
So
like it's a team that's completely just bottomed out, and I'm not surprised because again,
Frankly,
they were having an
least,
okay year, but it was
at least they lost that
division.
much. Like,
yeah, and that is
thank
true.
God they didn't go 5-5 and miss the playoffs and pick 9th, right? Like at least they're going to be getting a solid draft pick now. And yeah, honestly, I still don't mind the Bobby McMahon pickup because the price they paid for him is they got really good value for that. If they can make sure he sticks around,
if he sticks around, yeah.
But even if you're making that move, I still think they should have moved on from Jordan Eberle, moved on from Jaden Schwartz, a lot of these older guys that just aren't going to be a part of the future when this team is ready to contend and win. So yeah, they definitely should have moved on from quite a few guys, and that's something we've been saying for a couple of years about a team that has only been around for a handful of years.
They just don't have a direction right now. Like, and again, they're going to have a 6th overall pick, but since Seattle's come into the league, I hate their drafts every year. They're better in the later rounds, but again, picking 6th overall, they're probably just going to take another centerman and say, "Oh, well, we'll cross that problem when we get to it." When we've got all these young prospects ready to come in, and now you got to force some to move to the wing. Do you trade some?
I'll be honest. I think skill's the issue. I think a lot of people point to the center thing, but like 70-80% of the forwards in the draft are listed as center or center/winger. Like out of the forwards, obviously. Like most of these guys are some of the best players they've ever played with.
Are like bona fide centerman though. Like I do know what you mean. Like there's guys
Okay.
like Will Smith, for example,
Like
was a
Mitch Marner was
centerman,
a
but
center in junior, and as soon as he came up, he was like, "No, yeah, I'm an NHL winger." And
but the guys that they're taking are
they are
projected to
taking
be
true
like,
centers. That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. It's not guys that are like, oh, they can move. Like it's like these guys are centers, and they are good at their position. But again, it's like just drafting a bunch of good centermen doesn't do much for you. Um, but yeah, like Ron Francis had to go, and Jason Botterill, who's the current GM, he's going to kind of take over that role a little bit and kind of do it all, which I'm interested to see how that goes with him just kind of running the show and Ron Francis completely out of there. Maybe that's something that will change the way that Seattle's trying to kind of build their identity because again, I don't think they really have one of what they're
No,
trying to
no.
do
Right now,
at
it's
this
just kind
point.
of band of misfits, and it's too bad because with a lot of their picks, I have liked the players that they're getting, and I do think they're just trying to find that that Jack Eichel, that McDavid, that number one center. Um, but obviously, Matty Beniers he's been good, but he's not panned out as that guy yet. Then, I mean, the year after that, the guy who you thought was going first overall, Shane Wright, he falls to fourth. I can see that. I mean, that you're just trying to capitalize on good value there.
Yeah.
Berkeley Catton is great value at pick 8, but at that point you already got the other two guys, and then this past year they take Jake O'Brien, and it's like it's another center. At a certain point, you gotta expand, you gotta try some other stuff, and you just have to move off of some of these older guys. Like they just have too
Yeah.
many aging guys that not only are they going to get less value back for when they eventually do move them, assuming they will, but like you you got to tank down a little bit lower before you can get better, right? And they haven't quite got the pieces to be on the way out of that.
Yeah, and it's not even like I hate the players that they draft. Like I really like Berkeley Catton as a player, and I was behind him as a
Yeah,
prospect. But it's when you look at it, it's like, what did Seattle need at the time? Defenseman. Berkeley Catton goes at 8th, and then afterwards, Zane Perek, Salayev, Dickinson, and then Z Boyum. The next 4 picks afterwards. It's like it's stuff like that where, again, Berkeley Catton, very good prospect, good player, but there was a number of good defensemen that you could have snagged there.
yeah,
And that's kind of
yeah,
what they're missing is that, because they have good defense right now, but they don't have that stud defenseman prospect coming up that you kind of build around as part of your core with Shane Wright if he's there for the long haul and Beniers if he can take that next step, right? But again, yeah. I mean, this is best case scenario for Seattle, bottoming out and again
long
getting
term,
a high
yeah,
pick. Hey, maybe you get lucky, you win the draft lottery. It's very possible, as opposed to just missing out on the playoffs and then picking potentially outside the top 10, or even making it into the playoffs, but then you just get bounced round 1, and then
yeah,
it's like you'd rather just have that top pick at that point. So big off season for them, and I think this is obviously the move that needed to happen. And again, Ron Francis is stepping down, as they put it, but we all know that they kind of told him like, do you want to step down or do you want us to fire you? Basically, is what this is.
yeah. I think
And
we
but it
talked
needed
about
to
it last
happen. Yeah.
offseason, how there was some internal pressure in Seattle from the owners being like, we want to see some playoffs soon. So I think
Mhm.
because of this recent skid is why they're allowing him to step down, I guess not firing him, but
Yeah.
um yeah, it's frankly that's almost a little bit scary that it because he lost a little bit and now they're frankly close to where they should be. Now he's getting fired, and it's not because he wouldn't make the right moves before. So
Hmm.
we'll see where it goes from here. But I am excited to see what this team can do and what this team can look like with somebody else at the helm, whoever they bring in to replace him, if they replace that role or if they just roll with a GM.
And I do gotta say though, I do like what we're starting to see around the league, in that you look at Vegas, you look at the Islanders, New Jersey, and now Seattle. Teams aren't waiting until the off season to make moves. They aren't waiting until after game 82. They're being more proactive, and a little bit different for the Islanders in Vegas because they're still pushing for a playoff spot. But for
Right.
teams like New Jersey and Seattle, of just moving on from the guy that isn't going to be there, and that gives you more time to start doing your homework on other guys. Going like
Yeah.
even in Toronto, New Jersey and Toronto, they have been allowed to meet with Florida's assistant GM for their GM openings. And it's like if they waited till game 82 to do it, they might not get the opportunity to, or they might have just completely missed their chance because another team jumped on it first. So I do like that teams are starting to
Yeah.
just make the move when they're like, all right, it's time, as opposed to, well, we'll just wait till the end of the season and then get it done, get it out of the way, and then you can start finding your guy. Because again, you only have really until the draft. Actually, not even really. Like,
Yeah.
you probably should, by the time it's like June 1st, you should have your new GM, your new president of hockey ops, if Seattle's going to get one, and then
Otherwise,
you
you
can start
end up.
preparing for the draft, for agency.
Otherwise, you
All
end up
that.
with like Treliving, a situation where he came in and when he got hired, he had like 3 weeks or something before Mitch Marner's full no move kicked in.
Yeah.
Like he had so little time to make such a monumental shift right after he came in. Most guys are gonna do what he did, not end up
Yeah.
making the move, because you don't want to rock the boat that hard that soon without having all the facts. And yeah, you got to get on top of it. And it's funny that you said you like how teams are being proactive, because I do like that it's happening now. But it's funny because I only look at it as proactive from Vegas. The rest of it is just because this is such a copycat league where you copy what other people are doing, especially if they are the teams that are winning. And Vegas made that change, and I think they made it. The Islanders looked over and were like, okay, so like if they're going to do it, there's a lot of other teams that also need new GMs, new coaches, etc. Let's do our stuff now as well. I'm not saying I know that they would have waited, but like I don't think there's a coincidence that one
Um,
team did it and then several other teams are making these moves. Like I think there's a good chance the Islanders
I think it
also would have.
depends, because the
I don't
Islanders
think
were going to
Seattle
get rid
would
of
have.
Patrick Waugh either way.
Oh yeah,
Like, he was the players were getting kind of done with him, so it's like, yeah, you might as
and he
well
wasn't Darsh's guy. Sure.
make the move. Well, Seattle, I
I,
mean, Ron Francis had to go either way.
I think it would have happened during the playoffs or after the playoffs, though. I think they're doing it
Mhm.
now because it's kind of the hotness to do it. You know, they're like the 5th team in 2 weeks to move somebody in somebody major in the organization, you know? But I do think it would have happened either way. Like, but I'm just saying I think it, as soon as a couple teams do it, it's putting pressure on other people to do it so that everyone good to hire doesn't get taken up, you know. It's they have to play keep up, right?
That's
Um
being proactive. That's literally the definition of being proactive.
oh yeah, I'm just saying they didn't
The Seattle one
they,
is
they
kind
didn't
of the
have
outlier
this
because, like, Ron
revelational
Francis isn't
idea on
the
their own.
GM though. Yeah, and Seattle is the different because, like, Ron Francis isn't the GM, right? Like, so it's kind of easy to just kick him to the curb and be like, I mean, you're not part of the future, and it doesn't matter whether or not we have you for the remaining,
Yeah.
4 games or whatnot, right? Whereas, like, in Toronto, Tree Living completely destroyed that team. New Jersey, Fitzgerald completely destroyed that team. So it's like, yeah, you're not really doing yourself any good by holding on to those guys when it's like they're,
No.
in my opinion, the sole ones to kind of blame for the
Oh, 100%.
directions of those
I think
teams.
all those moves have been good moves for sure. Like they are all ones that not only needed to happen, I think are much better off for having made those decisions now so that they have time to find a replacement. And also, frankly, in a couple of cases, so that that guy can't do any more damage to your team's future before, the off season, right?
Mhm.
Like Just so we have the name out there as well. Sunny Mehta is the received permission to talk to Sunny Mehta.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
he
Oh,
used
yeah. Sunny Mehta is the assistant GM from
from
Florida,
Florida. Yeah.
who the Devils and Leafs have had interviews with. I think there is a very strong chance that guy gets the GM role in Toronto.
Yeah.
I think it
I
was very
firmly believe
important to
that.
say his name because I think he's going to be the next big guy over there. Have you heard the link? Have you heard the link towards him in Toronto yet?
No.
So you know how Keith Pelly put together he hired a third party firm to find the right candidate for the GM role.
Mhm.
Like he's not handpicking it himself. Do you know who owns or is at least a part owner of that firm?
No.
This assistant GM from
Oh.
Florida.
Then yeah. So he's in the driver's
So
seat for this position then.
he was already a top candidate for it, and then he was also like kind of hired, like he owns the company hired to make the decision. So like,
Yeah.
and nobody has pockets like Toronto Maple Leafs, right? In hockey.
Yeah.
So of course he's going to say, yeah, I would definitely hire me and I would pay myself huge money to do it. I would be shocked if
Yeah.
he doesn't end up being there, as well as I think he'd be a great fit for it. He is very analytics and stats oriented. He's a big numbers guy, and look at Florida's books, look at their cap space. It makes a lot of sense. Like I
No,
definitely think he's what
absolutely.
they need.
And in my opinion, I said it, I think it was either last week or early this week. Oh no, it was earlier this week. Toronto's a more desirable spot than New Jersey for a GM right now, and I think you agreed.
Yeah.
Actually, you might have
Yeah.
even said it first, and I agreed with you. I thought that now, and now I think it way more because kind of sounds like Nico Hischier is not sure if he wants to stick around in New Jersey. Kind
I
of
had not
dropping
heard
those
that.
comments of because I think next season's the last year of his contract, and he was kind
I
of
can pull
asked
that up.
about it, and he just said kind of like the old we'll kind of see
We'll
what
see when we
happens,
see.
and again that goes back to Tom Fitzgerald just destroying that locker room by all the
Uh
Quinn Hughes news
yeah,
going
he's got
around.
2 seasons left, one of them being the final 3 games of this year.
3 games,
Like he
yeah.
can be
So
extended July 1st.
yes, and it didn't sound like he was, you know, and again, July 1st, maybe he could sign extension, then it's all out the window. But as of right now, from what we know, he doesn't sound totally set on fully committing to New Jersey just yet. And again, that goes back to
Yeah.
all the Quinn Hughes stuff that went on and all these guys
Well,
kind of committing themselves to New Jersey, and then they get asked, "Hey, we want to ship you out the door to get the three Hughes brothers," and then all these guys are like, "So
yeah.
I'm not valued here." And again, a new GM could come in and day one just be like, "The Quinn Hughes shit is out the window. We're not talking about that. We're committed to our guys, committed to our players that are here,"
They
and everyone
really
could be
needed to do
happy.
that. That's all they needed to
And
do.
eh,
Just be like, we're not getting Quinn Hughes. We're not. And that shuts up so many people and it handcuffs you 0%. All
mhm,
because if they still want Quinn Hughes, they can go get him. Quinn Hughes is not going to turn down going there at any point because before they said, we don't want him. He's not on our team. Don't worry about it. Like,
yeah,
that's not going to break the deal, but it's going to
mhm,
do a lot of good. And it's funny because this team actually has a lot of similarities to the Florida Panthers, but in a way where I've never got the vibe it had any issues in Florida, and probably because Kachuk showed up and started immediately winning. Kachuk showed up there and he immediately kind of became the face of that franchise, right? Barkov, Barkov's their best player. Barkov was already the captain. But Kachuk comes in and he's just louder and
he's
everyone
yeah,
knows him. He's
and it's
clearly
easy to
the
market
figurehead,
him. Yeah,
right? Nico Hischier, first overall pick, first line center, great defensively. They make him the captain, but then Jack Hughes comes in, and Jack Hughes is just got a higher ceiling, at least offensively. He's got a higher ceiling. He kind of takes that limelight, and he's never been a loud guy, but all of a sudden this year, my God, you can't get away from him. And all of a sudden it's him and it's Luke Hughes now, and all of a sudden, Hischier and Nemec are kind of on the outside looking in. The fan base seems to like Quinn Hughes, who isn't even on the team, more than you. Like, if they were winning, they probably wouldn't care. But the fact that they're dealing with all of that, Hischier's already 27, and they're going to miss the playoffs again here. Like, it feels so recently when we were in the preseason picking them to win the Presidents. I think one year you had them win the Presidents and the Cup. But
no, I had them winning the Presidents, but I didn't have them winning the Cup.
Like that was
but
like
I did
2
have
or
them
3 years ago now.
Yeah.
We thought they were going to be at President Trophy level stuff, and here we are a couple years later, and they've gone on a huge win streak late in the season, and they're still way out.
It was last season I had them winning the Presidents because they got Markstrom. They finally had a goalie, which was kind of the one thing they were missing, and that didn't even help, really.
No, and now they're another year deep with this tandem that is, I believe they were both 35 for most of the year, maybe.
Yeah, and so now again, that's another
Markstrom's
thing.
36 now. Yeah,
come the off season, it's you're back to the same thing now. You're trying to find a goalie.
Yeah, like
they're right back to where they were 2 years ago. They didn't take any steps forward, didn't really even take any steps back. It's you haven't progressed in 2 years, and that's a problem. So, whereas at least with Toronto, you kind of come in, you've got two directions. You fucking double down with Tavares, Matthews, Nylander there, and try and make something happen there, or you blow it up.
I think they've got too many good young players locked up to good contracts to fully blow it up.
For who? Toronto?
Oh, sorry, for the Devils. For the Devils.
Oh, yeah, no, New Jersey, you can't blow it up, but you're just coming in where you kind of have to try and go forward with what's there, and you're going to have to make a lot of decisions because, again, there's kind of a lot of things going on there.
Can I hit you with a hypothetical mock trade here? And I believe Lucette talked something close to this recently. But say Nico Hischier does want out. It's obviously not the New Jersey, Minnesota trade people are wanting to see, but Nico Hischier for Jesper Wallstedt. I don't know if it's 1-for-1, but like the base of the trade, the skeleton of the trade.
If I'm New Jersey or Minnesota, I'm 100% doing that. And if I'm New Jersey, I'm probably doing that because again, New Jersey needs a goalie. So, yeah.
It would be funny seeing Nico Hischier be like, I don't really want to re-sign. The Hughes have taken over this team, and then go over to Bill Guerin and Quinn Hughes. That would be kind of funny, but I mean, he'd be in a lot better position to win.
Way better. Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, they've got scoring everywhere else in the lineup, and then on top of that Minnesota team, their 1-2 punch would be Nico Hischier, Joel Eriksson-Ek. That's great defensive centerman.
Pretty good.
Like
that is. No, I think both teams should do that because it's a win-win move. It's very similar. I mean, again, ages are kind of a little bit different, but Pierre-Luc Dubois for Darcy Kemper.
Yeah,
that was a win-win, and it's looking a little bit rougher for LA now. But at the same time, they're not handcuffed with.
They needed to get out of that contract.
So
I was gonna say, like, even then, it's still a win because he was not doing that in LA, and I don't think that was turning around. Like,
and there's no guarantee that Hischier will re-sign in New Jersey. If I'm Hischier, I wouldn't. I don't see the benefit for him. And again, like other guys, sure, re-sign New Jersey, but for Hischier, I don't see the upside.
I do think it matters a lot on who the next GM is.
Mm-hmm. But like when you're the captain and you're basically told like, we don't value you as much as these two because of their last name solely, it's kind of like, fuck, I wouldn't.
It's
like
funny
that.
because honestly, if I'm in that position, if I'm told that I'm not quite as important to the franchise as Jack Hughes, I'm going, okay. I mean,
Like I get it.
look at him. He's awesome. Okay, I get it. You tell me that Luke Hughes is more important than me, I'm going, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
He's not even is
That's
he
when
our
it becomes
third
a
best
problem.
defenseman? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you still got Dougie, you still got
Nemec is better.
Nemec. Wasn't showing
He's
up on the
better.
list. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's projected to get better. Like, somebody
Not
is
in
going to get
Jersey,
Nemec
but
for way cheaper than they should be able to, and it's going
no, because
to
it's
set
still
up a franchise for a long time.
the price is still so high for him, and New Jersey is going to stay firm on that as they should.
It's high. I don't think it's going to be as high as it should be. Like,
It's
I
still going to
think
be like a first round pick and a top prospect, though.
exactly, and I think they're going to pay
which is
that,
fair.
and they are going, and it's going to be a robbery. Like, I think Nemec is a guy who's going to have Norris Trophy top 3 finishes in his career.
It depends. Depends on what the draft pick is used for and the prospect and whatnot. Again, like it's 9 times out of 10, yeah, the team that's going to acquire Simonovic is going to win, but we've seen lots of trades where people are like, "Oh, this team cleaned them out," and it's like, did they? Did they?
There's a lot of people think trades need to be if I win, you lose, or something like that, or we both have to win the same amount for it to be a win-win. Like, there's plenty of trades that are very one-sided, but it worked out well for the other team still because they got out from a contract or something, and you got to take all of that into account. So it's I definitely don't. I'm not saying that I think the Devils are going to get fleeced or lose this. I just think there's a very high chance that whoever ends up with Nemec looks back on that trade and says, if there was an extra first, if there's an extra first on the table, I still would have smashed yes in a heartbeat.
No, I totally agree. But we should move on here. You did mention the possibility of a trade with Minnesota, and they're our first confirmed matchup for round 1. The Dallas Stars and Minnesota Wild are confirmed for the playoffs here. Braden, what is your excitement level for this matchup?
I am very excited to watch these teams play because it's going to be a very fun matchup. However, it does suck that I knew this would be the matchup December 1st. Like, we've known for that freaking long that this was going to be a first round matchup. Yeah. Just the way the divisions were shaking out, those top 3 separated themselves so early, and then Colorado separated themselves from those 2 even pretty good. Like,
because it was like we knew Colorado.
We didn't know who would get home ice advantage, but
and that's still undetermined. That's still up in the air. Because back near the start of the season, Colorado was rolling over everybody. Lose. We knew how good Dallas was. Minnesota was like, they're going to be in that top 3, but like they're kind of just one step behind the other 2. And then they go out and get Quinn Hughes, and it's like, all right, they're right in it now. And yeah, we knew this was the matchup for the longest time. But that being said, doesn't matter what other matchups we get. This is the first round matchup I'm most excited for, and it's going to be the best series we're going to get.
Probably.
Despite it being the most obvious one and whatnot, it's like this. I have a very hard time seeing another series be more exciting than this one, just because
I think 2 and 3 in the Atlantic could.
I think but
Sabres,
the top end
Canadians
in this is
right
just
up there.
Too good. It is, but it's the top end talent that we're getting in this matchup that it's just going to be must see. And 2 goalies that are phenomenal. Like this series literally kind of does have everything. It has everything.
Both teams have a Norris level guy. Like, both have a borderline Vezina level guy, Vezina candidate at least.
And both teams that you take Dallas, you put them in the East, or Minnesota. It's probably the team I'm picking to make it to the Cup final. And now they're
at least conference final, at minimum.
Yeah, at bare minimum conference final. Yeah. Because again, the only other team that would maybe pick over them is Tampa. There's not another team in the East I would pick over either one of these two teams. And it's not to say the East is bad. It's just
the Canes are going to break through
teams
at some point,
so good.
But it's so hard to tell when it'll happen. But
you already know me. I'm not a Hurricanes believer.
No. And not only that, both these teams have a top 5 winger in the league. Who are the top 5 wingers in the league? Kucherov.
Oh shit.
Pasternak.
Kucherov, Pasta, Kaprizov for sure.
Are we already at Kaprizov? Probably. How far down is Rantanen?
Oh, fuck, I'm thinking you're talking about Robertson. Fuck, they got Rantanen.
Right.
Minnesota's probably got one, and Dallas might have the other two.
I think Rantanen's at number 4, and Robertson's certainly got a case for being number 5. Yeah.
And if people say Matthew Tkachuk, just stop.
He just keeps getting put up there, and it's like,
to be fair,
he's good. He's a good player,
absolutely. But yeah, people are saying top 5 wing, easily top 10. And if you say he's outside top 10, not you, but just people in general, but also including you,
sure,
you're wrong. Easily top 10, not top 5 though.
Not in my top 5. He might be in my top 10. We'd have to map it out. We'll probably be doing that in the offseason.
Yeah, he'd be in my top 10, but for top 5, I'm just trying to think. Kucherov.
I'm still putting Mitch Marner up in the area. Definitely in the top 10. I don't know if he's that
top 10. I don't have top 5. I would take Robertson over Marner. I would take Rantanen over Marner.
That's really close. I would take Rantanen over Marner.
Robertson
Marner's pretty close. Robertson's slow, but he's still good defensively. I'd probably take. It's probably Robertson.
He makes it work, right? So, and then that's not even including great young talent like Matt Boldy, Wyatt Johnston, and then on the blue line, Peiskinen, Harley, Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber. It's
going to be a ridiculous
really good teams. We're not doing playoff predictions yet, though. If anyone's wondering that,
two of the teams with the best tandems in the league. Not just because their starting goalie's good, but if both teams had to play their backup for this entire series, they would both still be fine.
I would love to see 1 year.
DeSmith is low-key the best backup in the league. That guy's constantly putting up 920 save percentage seasons but he's only playing 20 games, but I think last year he had a 929 to end the season. And I'm he hasn't played a ton of games, but holy shit, I wish that was my backup.
I would almost kind of like to see, and again, this goes down the road of your stupid hypotheticals you love to throw out.
It's a fun.
I would almost, and again, this is never going to happen, but I would love to see a time when it's say this game goes, Dallas wins games 1 and 3, Minnesota wins games 2 and 4. Series is tied up 2-2. I'd love to see both coaches just kind of mutually agree, you know what, our goalies are a little bit gassed. We'll just both throw in our backups for 1 game. And I would love to see a Casey DeSmith, Jesper Wallstedt battle in this series even.
If you have confidence
it's
in
not
your
going to
backup,
happen, but
why not?
I would love to. But it's one of those things where you can have confidence, but it's if you're Minnesota, are you more confident in Jesper Wallstedt over compared to a Jake Ottinger? And for Dallas, are you confident in throwing in DeSmith in a battle against Gustafson? Probably not. So it kind of have to be one of those ones of both
it's
teams.
The playoffs. Your goalies are both going to be ready regardless. So
and that is true.
You'd be okay, we're going to start him for this game. Be ready, because obviously if we see their starter in the net, you're going it back in. But it's kind of one of those, we'll do it if you do it. We're not going to swap our guy, but obviously if you swap your guy, we're putting our starter back in.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, that's fair. Yeah.
It's a fun idea.
But yeah, this is going to be, this is one I'm going to be most excited for. And again, things could change, but we're not going to have any predictions yet. We're going to wait till all of the matchups are confirmed, and I think home ice advantage actually in this series is going to be a huge factor as well. And that's still up for grabs between these two teams. Dallas has the slight edge right now, but they've kind of cooled off a little bit. Minnesota's still going strong, so Minnesota could easily hop over Dallas and take that home ice advantage, and that's huge for them.
Yeah,
it's more important for Minnesota, I think, than Dallas, but obviously it's a huge advantage for Dallas still. But I think it would be more of an advantage for Minnesota to get that home ice advantage.
I agree. I think they're a better home team, so it would help them more. They both have 4 games left. The Wild are 2 points back. But yeah, like you said, the Wild are 7-3-0 in their last 10, 4 wins in a row. The Stars, 1 win in a row currently, 3-5-2. So they're definitely the slower team at the moment. We'll see if the Wild
so
pick
close
up a couple more wins.
Colorado, and they kind of just it cooled off.
They lost 3 in a row. The Avs won 3 in a row, and bam, it was over.
Yeah,
that's all it takes.
Another team that is potentially going to be a major threat in the West, the Edmonton Oilers. Did you see the footage they dropped from the deadline? No, okay.
I have
not. Well, if anyone's seen it out there, they released like a 2-minute video, and basically it's them just kind of going over the Dickinson trade and talking it through and whatnot. And I get it. Teams are, and I do like teams are starting to kind of show more behind the scenes footage and whatnot. Yeah. But like also for Edmonton, it's like, in my opinion, it really just kind of showcased how not smart some of the people they got there. Like they're just saying a lot of words that are just stereotypical. Like, oh, we like Colton Dach, plays a rugged game, is an energy guy, and Dickinson, oh, he's good defensively, third line center, our biggest need. And it's like
it's really crazy. That's how they go about that on the inside. Like you'd think that would just be for like the media, but they're just doing that.
Yeah, it's basically the kind of stuff they would say to the media, but it's them talking it through. And again, like I'm
talking
not
to each other with buzzwords, like it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And it's just it's kind of weird. And again, like I do appreciate teams showing this kind of stuff because it is really cool. But at the same time,
I didn't see this one. I saw other ones around the deadline or the day after the deadline. I know a couple of them surfaced, and some of those videos were really cool to see. But probably don't want it released if you're the one, not making a super great trade. Like I like the trade for him. I like the player they got, but obviously they had to pay a ton extra to get out from under a contract they didn't need to sign in Mangiapane. Like,
yeah. And again, like
if that's me, I ain't posting that shit. I got my ass beat.
Yeah, if I was an Oilers fan, I'd kind of be looking at it like I don't like. Oilers fans kind of already don't have a lot of faith in Bowman and kind of the brass they've got there in Edmonton. But after watching that, if I was an Oilers fan, I would lose all hope because it's just like
they are. There's nothing in that.
There's nothing in that video that proves that they're smarter than you and I or anyone listening. There wasn't a single thing said that's like, well, okay, that's actually pretty outside the box. Like, that's some good insight. It's like it's the same shit you and I say when we're talking about Robertson. Bad skater, but good defensively. It's like that. That's the type of shit they say, and it's like, all right,
yeah, like
they're no better than us.
It is crazy.
We're just as good as them.
Like it is crazy how genuinely confident I am that if I got a job in the NHL, I would instantly be a top 16 GM in the league. I would be better than half of them. I genuinely believe that, and it's insane that I should even be able to believe that. But
you're probably not wrong though. Like,
enough of these guys make these huge blunders that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a time traveler. I can't see into alternate realities. I don't know for sure that I would be better, but I feel decently confident about it because, man, I wouldn't make some of the bad trades some of these guys make.
Yeah, because it's one of I've seen people say like, oh, it's like, oh, I wouldn't have given up a first to move on from Mangiapane. And people are like, well, how would you move him? It's like, wouldn't have signed him in the first place.
I was going to say, if I was there at the start of the season,
the moment it was signed. Like, it's those things, if you can see them right when they happen. And
how did he get $4 million? That's a lot of money. He hasn't been good in like 3 or 4 years.
That's a typical thing of looking at it, and a lot of GMs will look at it and be like, well, he was a 30 goal scorer a couple years ago. He could be that with us. And it's like, yeah, that was also back when the Flames were good. They had all this, great talent. Mangiapane could kind of fly under the radar a bit because all these other guys are drawing the attention. It's like you gotta look at
who
all those kind of things.
Makes stuff like this happen? Guys like Anthony Mantha. How many teams tried to get that guy to be the good player we all knew he could be? And all of a sudden, Kyle Dubas gets him and 30 goal scorer. There we go. No problem. There he is. He's broken out. How old is he? Like 29? Like, so many teams have tried to 30. Make that experiment work. And it just worked for the Penguins. And now, how many middle six forward options that have potential offensive upside are going to get signed to big deals because teams are like, maybe we can get that next gem.
Makes you, that's the thing I'm kind of worried about is you think if Anthony Mantha hits free agency and Darren Radish.
He's 31.
If they hit free agency, teams are going to fucking overpay. And they're never going to get the results.
There's two teams
these guys
that Radish could go to, in my mind. I'm sure he could go anywhere else. It's already made up in my mind. He's either staying in Tampa,
which I think he does,
or Toronto is going to give him the fucking bag, and he's not going to be what they think he is. Like, I can't shake the feeling Toronto is going to give this guy $10 million, $9.5 million for a ton of term, and he's going to be immediately a 50-point power play quarterback, and he's not going to be too much different than Morgan Riley all of a sudden, and they're going to wonder what went wrong.
Yeah.
I hope he stays in Tampa. A lot of people say they think he'll stay, and I really hope he does. We desperately need him.
I firmly do believe that Radish will stay. Tampa is going to have to pay him. I think the Lightning fans that I've seen say like, oh, he'll sign a 7-year deal at 5.5. I'm like, no, he won't.
Yeah, I don't know why people.
He worked his ass off way too much to just settle for less.
Yeah,
if this was a guy that already had been in the league for a while and whatnot, and this is a payday, sure, but like this is a guy that's worked his ass off and grinded for years to get this opportunity. Like he's gonna cash in because this is probably a. When I say one and done, I mean like he'll sign one big deal here, and that's like kind of it.
He'll probably retire at the end of this deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or sign like a cheap deal at the very end. Like this is the contract where he's going to make 90% of his career earnings.
And especially now because he can only sign for 7 years. So that option for the 8th year isn't available anymore. So you kind of have to pay even that little bit much extra to make up for the 8th year that you're missing out on now.
He could sign 7 years with us, only 6 with other people in free agency, right? So luckily we have that, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. It would take him till he's pretty old, but
you kind of need him.
We don't care about years 5, 6, 7. Never have. And cap goes up. Shit, we'll figure it out.
The Ottawa Senators pushing for a playoff spot, still hanging in there. Actually moved into a second wildcard spot. And the previously injured Thomas Chabot, who broke his arm and required surgery, is back tonight. He is making his return to the lineup for the Sens, who desperately need him.
Yeah. I get that they need him and they want to make the playoffs, but man, just reading the details of this, like his arm got broken when JT Miller cross-checked him. Good job not sticking up for your guy, Tkachuk.
Brady wasn't on the ice.
He didn't go fight anyone after. He's had a lot of teammates go down injured, and he didn't fight. And then he had a personal problem with another guy, and then he did fight. I'm just saying, I think he fights for himself.
That is the problem with Ottawa, though, and I have mentioned it before. They're soft. Like the team a lot, but really fucking soft. When it's literally anytime anything happens, it has to be Brady Tkachuk fighting because no one else has the stones to. And
I
that's a big problem for a team like Ottawa, though.
I think you're half right. I don't even necessarily think this is a soft. I think they are not soft players. They're a soft team together. I think that most of these guys on a different team would be willing to stand up a bit more. I think these guys don't have the chemistry. I don't think they feel like a unit. Like Brady Tkachuk, it's hard to feel like he's going to be there long term. The team doesn't really like the goalie as much as they could. Like there's so many guys have come in and out. It's just been a lot of turnover. I just don't think they feel like a family like a lot of teams do, and they're not willing to fight for each other. I think
And
they'd be
that's
willing to
where,
fight if they felt like a part of a team. They don't
and that's
seem
what
like
last season
a
needed
tight-knit
to
group to
be
me.
when they made the playoffs. That was their time to really create this identity. And now it's every time something happens, it's like Brady's got to go fight. If Brady Tkachuk gets injured and is done for the season, so are the Sens. This team doesn't last in a series more than beyond 5 games against anybody in the playoffs.
No.
Because what's going to happen? Tim Stützle gets domed with an elbow. The team just stands around. It's like, well, fuck, what do we do now? Yeah. Ugh. Like, that's what they would do.
Yeah.
It would no different than Toronto. And again, I like Ottawa a lot, but they're soft. Outside of Brady, like you've got Ridley Gregg, who's shown he can fight, but haven't really.
They've got guys willing to get in there on occasion. They don't seem to care consistently, and that's just one of those culture things. I don't know if that's the an organizational thing, a coach thing. Maybe it's just how it's been for long enough that it's kind of poisoned the locker room a little bit. You know, maybe a Buffalo situation where all of a sudden they'll figure it out, they'll be buddies, and then boom, off they'll be running. But right now,
I hate that I had
feels weird.
Someone try and tell me when I said the Sens weren't tough, and they said they have Nick Cousins. Really? Nick Cousins is not tough.
And the Penguins
were
saying,
tough because Matt Cook was such a he was tough. It's like
exactly.
it's like no, being a dirty player doesn't mean you're tough. Being tough means you can do dumb shit, but then you'll own up to it and you'll drop the mitts. That's what that's what it is, right? So
yeah, like I love that we both immediately went to Cook because we're like, who's a cheap shot artist who's not tough? And exactly. Like being tough is being able to fight back in those capacities. And Cousins is gonna turtle 9 times out of 10. And the only time he doesn't is when the guy's shorter than him, and he'll frankly probably still get beat up. Like, yeah, it's.
But for Chabot though, like that is a huge addition back for Ottawa. And again, we did kind of talk about before we started recording, but they're in that playoff spot right now, which means they control their fate. You know, they were kind of on the outside looking in. They've put themselves in a spot where you win your last 4 games, you're in the playoffs. You win 3 of your last 4, you're still probably in, because then that means Columbus has to get 7 out of 8 points in their last 4. Detroit's got to do. Well, Detroit would just have to win. Actually, even if Ottawa wins 3, Detroit and Islanders can't catch them. Washington can't catch them. So it'd only be Columbus you'd have to worry about. And again, if you win 3, Columbus, they kind of got to just win out. And a team that was just on a 6-game losing streak, tough to see them now go 5 straight here to round the season. Again, could happen, but Ottawa's in control, and getting Chabot back when it looked like could be done for the season, because at first it was reported potentially second round, and
well, that's what I'm thinking.
Time, not many people were thinking Ottawa would even get out of the first, but
I don't think he's recovered quicker. I think they're just putting him in injured, and I think it's. I think they're in a good enough of a spot that it's a player
decision. It's not like the team's telling Chabot, "Hey, we know you're not healthy, but you're playing." It's the player wants to also
100%
be in the lineup.
99% of the time, the player does want to play. It's up to the team and the doctors to be like, no, you're injured, don't. And I get it. They're in wild card 2. Wild card 1's out of reach. But they are at the top of the list. They are the hottest of the teams fighting for it. It's only 2 games in a row, but you know, they're kind of in the driver's seat right now, and I don't think they should be desperate enough to be putting a guy in. Like he had
But hear
surgery,
this
he had
out, though.
plates and screws put in to stabilize and set the fracture. It
Mhm.
they've got it battened down with screws and plates, but it's not healed.
So
He's a
hear
he's
this
a
out, though.
defenseman. What if he blocks a shot with that arm?
But you put him in tonight against Florida. Senators beat Florida. Buffalo beats Columbus. Then you shut Chabot down for your final 3 regular season games. You win tonight and Columbus loses. That pretty much puts you clear and safe at that point.
If you look at your team without Chabot and don't think they can beat this incredibly depleted Florida Panthers team, what hope do you have? Why are you even trying to get to the playoffs? Like this is one of the teams where I think you don't need Chabot, and you should still very much be expected to win. Like
this
if
is
this
a
was
Florida
against
team
a more
that
competitive team,
they recently beat Boston. 2 nights ago, they took Montreal to a shootout.
like
it's a team that is still finding ways to be competitive despite all the injuries and guys they have out. And
yeah,
because again, like on the flip side, if you're out on, you lose tonight and Columbus wins, you're now battling right till the end. But if you win tonight and Columbus loses, which again I think Columbus probably will to Buffalo, you're in a much better spot now where you can tell Shaw, hey, we want you to play, but
I don't think the risk is worth. I don't think you're gaining much from this either. Like, what are you gaining? Chabot playing in the game. How much is he gonna? How much is he gonna play good hockey with 1.5 arm? Like
Erik Karlsson carried the Senators on one leg.
Yeah, but he's
Matthew
not
Tkachuk
Erik
was
Karlsson.
Carrying. No, but even Matthew Tkachuk was carrying Florida with a broken sternum. Like it's. Again, he's not on the level of those guys. Chabot, but you're acting like
he's not
Chabot's
on the level, and that's not what's on the line. Like
you're acting like Chabot's a fringe second pair defenseman. Like he's still a top 4 at least.
He's like an elite top 4 guy. He's a top pairing guy. But
because you don't play him, you're now playing. No offense, but Cameron Crotty. 6 NHL games experience.
Frankly, I was watching the other day. He was noticeable. He wasn't half bad. The Lightning played the Sens the other day, and I got a kick out of just seeing his name written on a jersey.
And your Ottawa also, you're going up against Florida. Allmark's in the net, and this Florida team fucking lit him up like a Christmas tree last game.
I guess I find it hard to believe he'll be able to do his job properly when he's got to protect his arm while he's taking shot blocks. How's he supposed to push guys out of the slot as well? Fight for those pucks in the corner. Like,
well,
just everything you do
figured out.
Your arm, right?
It's not like he's going out there and it's like you can't use your arm at all. Like they've obviously went through the precautions and made sure that he's able to actually play. And it's not going out there and it's like one arm behind your back.
No, but
I think he'll be able to play.
I think he's going to be much less active, and he's going to, do I really need to sit here and shove the guy the whole time he's in front? Maybe I'll wait till it looks like the defenseman will shoot, and then I'll try and knock him off. But I feel like there's just going to be a lot of cutting corners and kind of cheating on things because, it's annoying. You already see guys cutting corners when they're not injured, and when it's that much more.
It's not going to actively hurt the Senators, though. It maybe doesn't help them, but it's not going to hurt them more. And the flip side is you don't play Chabot, you lose, Columbus wins, Ottawa probably misses the playoffs.
But there's still a world where Chabot gets injured worse and they lose the game, there's...
Absolutely. Absolutely. But when the race is this close, you got to take some risks.
I think there's just a ton of risk, and I just think there's not a huge amount of reward to be had from it.
The reward is you win the game,
but you can win without him. You can win without him.
You could. Yeah. But you could also lose by not having him in there, is what I'm saying.
Sure. You could win without him. You could lose with him. Like anything could happen. It's
Because I firmly do believe if Ottawa loses tonight and Columbus wins, Ottawa's done.
I don't think though. No.
I think Columbus will.
There's
if
still
Columbus
three.
can knock
They'll
off
be
Buffalo,
tied with 3 games left.
Yeah, but
Columbus
I would
just
take Columbus
won their
in that
first
battle.
game in their last 6, and they had to be force-fed this win as well. I've been a Blue Jackets truther, but lately, man, it has not been it. It looked like they borderline wanted to lose out there, but the Red Wings said, no. Losing at this part of the year is our thing. We simply will not have it.
Okay, so not Columbus then. Say they lose. Say Ottawa loses. Islanders are playing Toronto tonight. That should be a win for the Islanders.
It definitely should be.
Islanders, Senators.
I believe they're having a new goalie play. I believe a guy's making his NHL debut.
And then Saturday, Ottawa plays the Islanders. So Ottawa loses tonight. Islanders win.
That's
Saturday
now.
Game. Islanders win. They're over top of Ottawa. But if Ottawa just can win this first game here, then it doesn't matter if other teams around them win, because that puts Ottawa again in just much more of a power position.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. Because I don't think
Artur Akhtiamov is playing for the Leafs tonight. Artur Akhtiamov.
So Toronto's really just pack it. I guess Stolarz did get injured yesterday.
He's played 1 game in his career, probably in relief, because he had 5 saves on 5 shots, and that was it. Didn't get a win or a loss, so he was in relief.
This can propel us here into a quick standings check, and we can do our final pick of who we think is in or out. It is worth noting, because we did talk about it, that Toronto really needed to lose out the rest of the year if they wanted to keep their first round pick this year. They're down to 6 last. The problem is the Seattle Kraken lost 6 in a row and have fallen below Toronto by 3 points. So I think it's funny.
It's funny because for Toronto, you could almost look at it as but Seattle's got a game in hand on us. So if they win that, they're only 1 point. Now you're counting games in hand like it's a good thing they have an extra game.
And even tied with Toronto, Florida, where Florida's content to
that's the biggest thing.
Stay down there because theirs is only top 10 protected. They don't have to worry about being in that 5 at the bottom.
Toronto is going to have a tough time getting into that bottom 5. And even if they do, if one team below them wins the lottery, whichever one they win, first or second overall, they're getting bumped back to 6th, and all of a sudden, that pick's gone.
To Boston. Yeah.
So,
I do believe then Boston is going to get that pick, and it's going to be 6th overall or 7th overall.
Yeah.
And Boston's just going to add that great piece
Boston who just signed James Higgins to an ELC.
Yeah.
Man. That team is not going anywhere.
They ain't going anywhere. And they're pretty much good in a playoff spot here now as well in the wild card 1.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been absolutely incredible. It's just hard to see because they're down in the wild card, but they're already at 96 points. 43 wins on the season. And they're in the wild card. 43 wins. The team first in the Pacific has 40. The Ducks have the most in the Pacific with 41. They're better than that whole division, and they're in a wild card spot. Luckily for them, they've got it pretty much locked up. But
I just remembered the thing I wanted to do for Tuesday's episode, and I can't even do it now. But it was gonna be a little trivia thing, and I was gonna ask you at that time who had the most goals for in the entire league. Who would your answer have been?
Goals for?
Yeah. So when we recorded on Tuesday, who would have had the most goals for?
The whole point of the exercise is probably because it's a shocking answer. I would still have to say Colorado. How could it not be? They've got all these goal scorers. They've got an insane record. I would have to guess Colorado.
It's Colorado. Because at one point, it was Pittsburgh.
What? It was
Yeah.
the Penguins? Holy shit, they wouldn't have been in my
They've
top 10
now
guesses.
got Colorado's pulled quite a bit ahead of them. Carolina's only got one more goal for than them. Tampa's only got one more. 280 goals for the Penguins.
Holy shit. Usually when you see a team come out of nowhere unexpectedly like that, it's because they're playing a great defensive game or they're getting great goaltending. No, they're scoring. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like, they're 4 points up on the Flyers.
I
Pittsburgh
thought you
has
were going to say it was
280
like
goals
Buffalo.
for. No.
Like,
Philly's got 233. So Pittsburgh's got almost 50 more goals than the Flyers, yet they're still right with each other in the playoff battle. And potentially,
man, that's crazy.
it's looking more and more likely that that's going to be our first round matchup there for the Metro.
Which is pretty awesome because that's two teams we
I'm all
didn't
for
expect to be there. Obviously, Pennsylvania rivalry. Like, we get to see Crosby versus the Flyers one last time. Like, that's awesome.
Penguins Flyers is so much more exciting than Columbus. And maybe not Dallas, just because I think that watching Crosby and Schaefer battle, I think would be pretty fun.
I do think that would be fun. I
But
think
again,
I'd
I would so
probably
much
still take
rather
Flyers,
Islanders.
Pens.
Yeah, because I'd so much rather have Hurricanes and Islanders as opposed to Penguins Islanders. We know the top three in the Atlantic is locked up. We know Carolina is locked in and the winner of the Metro. Which means 4 playoff spots remaining. What are your final predictions with, for the most part, for most teams, 4 games remaining? Who is your final picks here?
So I'm having the Penguins in. I think the Penguins are gonna make it. They have 96 points. The other 3 teams in Metro 3 and the 2 wild cards have. Oh, sorry, the Bruins also have 96, and then the Flyers are in Metro 3 with 92, and the Sens are in wild card 2 with 92. So yeah, I'm gonna say Metro 2 and wild card 1 are locked up with 96 points. I think that's too much to make up, and I think those are 2 of the hotter teams in the East. So it really comes down to the final 2 spots. Metro 3, Wildcard 2. They're both currently at 92 points, the Flyers and the Sens, and then they've got the Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, the Islanders, and the Caps even knocking at the door. I think the Flyers are in. I think they have won too many games down the stretch to slow down now. It would just be crazy if they just stopped for the final 3 or 4 games and didn't make it. I think they got to. And I mean, I'd love to see the Blue Jackets get in, but it just doesn't look like it right now. Frankly, I'm going to take the Sens. I think the Sens are going to keep their wild card too.
Chabot's back
If
in.
somebody took that spot, I would be picking the Capitals. I think it would be Washington.
I'm definitely with you on Pittsburgh and Boston. I think those are in. Flyers, I think will finish third in the Metro, and I think if they do, it's more impressive than other teams around them because they have a pretty tough schedule for their final 4 games. They have the Red Wings tonight, which that's a big game.
Huge game.
Then they play Winnipeg, who's still trying to claw back in the West, Carolina, and then Montreal. That's a pretty tough schedule. The easiest game there is probably against Carolina, because by that point the Kings might have a few guys sitting out and resting.
Yeah,
I can't go Washington just because they only have 3 games left. So Washington, it's you do have to win all 3, and you've got the Penguins twice, and then Columbus. Like for Washington, it is you have to win all 3, and they definitely could.
Yeah.
But again, even if you win all 3, that gets you to 95. Ottawa's just got to get.
And that's why I have them the second most likely for it.
Out of 8 points.
Because I think the Sens are going to, but if assuming the Sens lose out and it's not them, I have more faith in the Caps to win 3 games in 3 games than I do in the Blue Jackets, Wings, or Islanders to win 3 games in 4. The way all 4 of those teams are playing right now, like the
I'm
Columbus,
gonna
Detroit
go.
Islanders just aren't playing good right now. They just don't
I'm
look
gonna
like teams
go.
that want it.
Yeah, so I think Boston, Penguins, Flyers. I'm gonna go Ottawa. If it's not Ottawa, I'm gonna go the Islanders. Again, game tonight against Toronto. 95% they win that game. If the Islanders lose to Toronto tonight, they're done. Like it's a must win game for them.
Yeah.
Then you play the Sens.
Sorokin's confirmed.
That's huge. That's a huge game. That game could determine who gets in between those two. You then play Montreal, who at that point might be sitting some guys because their spot might be locked up. And then
Frankly,
you finish the season with Carolina. That's the Islanders' last game and the Hurricanes' last game. So I imagine Carolina will be sitting some guys, but it's also Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised if they put out their full lineup and just try and bury the Islanders. But at the same time, you do risk.
Why would they, though?
Maybe losing a guy or two. Well, and that's the thing. I doubt they do.
Have they not rinsed the Islanders in the playoffs like any time they've met in the last decade? Like,
no, and that is true. So that's why I'm going to go Islanders if it's not Ottawa, because their schedule is actually potentially could be pretty easy. But again, it would come down to that game against the Sens, and it would have to be a win. Like if you lose 100%. Tonight against Toronto, you're done. If you win against Toronto, but then you lose on Saturday to Ottawa, you're still done. So like you do kind of have to win your next 2 to stay alive. So unfortunately, Columbus, Detroit, Washington. It's sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry for Detroit. I'm sorry for Detroit
really
fans.
Big games
the team, they did it to themselves once again.
Like that Ottawa New York Islanders game is going to be absolutely huge. The Penguins Caps game is going to be big.
It's back to back, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh man, they've got 2 against each other. That's on purpose, isn't it?
Could be.
They're like right at the end of the season. We don't know if Ovi's coming back. Let's go back to back. Is one in Washington and one in Pittsburgh?
It has to be.
Yep. First one's in Pittsburgh, second one's in Washington. So one last time.
What a treat.
One last time, we're giving you Crosby versus Ovechkin. In case he retires this offseason, we're giving each place one last go. I wonder if the NHL has reached out to both teams and been like, if they are healthy, for the love of God, whatever position you're in, please don't sit either of these guys for that game.
Who the fuck made the Penguins schedule to wrap up the season?
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Bettman did it by hand.
Here's their April schedule. On the 2nd, they're in Tampa.
Okay.
And that's a Thursday. Then the Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back against Florida, both home games.
That was weird. I saw that.
Tampa, and then you go home, you play Florida back-to-back. Then you play tonight, you're in New Jersey. Then you're at home against Washington. The next day, you're in Washington. You get Monday off, and then to wrap the season up, you're in St. Louis. What a fucking weird...
That one game against St. Louis almost seems like it's like a game got postponed.
Game. Yeah. And it very well could be, because that's just so bizarre to wrap the season up. You're going to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Just be over
weird. There. In the West, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. We already know the situation there. Edmonton leading the Pacific. Vegas right behind them. Anaheim still in there. Utah leading the wild card race. Nashville wild card 2. Calgary's officially been eliminated. Finally, feels like it took longer than it should have.
That's crazy. LA... They have 5 games left. When they had 6 games left, they could have still made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even at a point where it's like they theoretically could have, but like it's like no, they actually could have made it because like it's so wide open there.
Pacific is so
it's crazy. It took that long. It's crazy.
LA, San Jose, Winnipeg, St. Louis, Seattle, all outside the playoff picture, but all still in the fight there. What is your final predictions for the West here for the playoff race?
I predict it is all going to stay the same as we have it right now. Obviously, Central's locked up. I think the Oilers are winning the division at this point. I don't know what the order is going to be between the Knights and the Ducks. Depends who wants home ice advantage more, but I think they're going to be in
Vegas
the
has
Pacific
won
spots.
4 in a row with Torts and Anaheim on a 6-game losing streak.
Well, there you go.
Also, we can just throw it in there. Utah, first wildcard spot. No shootout games this season as well.
Yeah,
which is pretty impressive.
They play to win in overtime, and sometimes they lose out, but a lot of times they win it in OT. And you know what?
Yeah,
I love a team that's willing to put it on the line for
late on the line
when you're in OT.
How exciting is that the playoffs are coming up and we're going to get a new Sportsnet commercial and it's going to be a song and we're just going to hear it like on repeat for 3 months.
It would be really funny to run back late on the line though. They should have put out a video on April 1st. They should have put out a video on April 1st being like a playoff hype package and played that song. That would have been great.
That would have been pretty good.
But yeah, I think the standings are going to stay the same. Utah's got 88 points, wild card 1. Like the first team out of the playoffs is 83. They're not catching them. And the Preds have only 1 more point than the Kings. They played 1 more game, but I don't know. I picture the Preds winning more down the stretch. The Kings have been rough. I mean, God, did you see the game versus Toronto? Ooh.
Yeah.
Kemper, what happened? What happened? How many goals did he let past him? 6 versus Toronto, this team? And I'm pretty sure, didn't they have like 2 goals called back as well? Like 8 got past him, I think. 7 or 8.
Yeah,
like,
I can't quite remember. I think I'm with you. Like Seattle, they're 9 points back. So like technically they could make it, but they're not. They're done.
No.
St. Louis is still 6 points back. They're done. Winnipeg, they're only 4 back, but again, with only 5 games remaining for them, it's possible, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, they're the first team where it's like, okay, now we can legitimately see it, but that's a Hail Mary for sure. That's a tough one to believe it's going to happen. Sharks, they've got 1 more point. They've also got 5 games left. They got a game in hand on the Preds, but
I think they're done. When you look at it, they've got Anaheim tonight. Then they do play Vancouver. They play Nashville again.
Huge
Chicago, and then Winnipeg. So like the Chicago Vancouver games, those are probably wins. Anaheim tonight potentially because Anaheim is on a skid, but it would come down to that Nashville game. And the Sharks, I think, are 0-15 in their last 15 games against Nashville. Like the Sharks hadn't even started their rebuild.
Who do the Sharks beat up on? If we can make like a track, Leon Draisaitl alone demolishes the Preds. The Preds demolish the Sharks. Who do the Sharks have the number on?
It's kind of been Winnipeg. Actually,
they kind of beat up on the Minnesota Wild low key a little bit.
Actually, yeah. I mean, it's all overtime games.
Celebrini specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy stats on them.
So again, like it is possible for the Sharks, and they do have that game in hand. So, like, say they win that game in hand, they're only 1 point back of Nashville, but you still have to beat Nashville, and this team hasn't shown that they can do it yet. Not even really come close. Like both games, I think 6-3 losses. So.
Justus Anunen with another shutout the other night.
Huge shutout against Anaheim. So again, great season for the Sharks, and as a Sharks fan, I love seeing the progression they've made already. Well, a 29-point bump up from last year, which is huge. But again, they're not a playoff team. They're only in the mix because the Pacific Division is just fucking terrible, like just awful.
Are they going to have a lottery pick?
Yeah, if the season ended right now, they'd have the 10th best odds at first overall.
Hey, you know what? We've seen it pretty recently win with odds like that.
Yeah. So
So
I do think the Sharks miss, and then it really comes down to Nashville, LA, because Utah's fine. Utah could finish wild card 2, but even then
I
they're still
wouldn't
in the
put money.
playoffs.
I wouldn't put
No,
money on
I
it.
still think they finish wild card 1, but I'm saying if they don't finish wild card 1, it's still wild card 2. It's not like they're missing the playoffs.
Yeah. The Preds and the Kings would have to like win out, and the Mammoth would have to only win at like most one game.
Mm-hmm. So Nashville, LA, I don't want to because they don't deserve to, but I'm gonna say the LA Kings.
Because they have a really weak schedule.
They have that game in hand. Yeah, they have the game in hand, and then they play Vancouver tonight. They do play Edmonton, which is a bit scary. But then you end the season Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, and yeah. The Kings win 4. So you lose against Edmonton, but you beat Vancouver those 2 times. You beat Seattle, you beat Calgary. That gets you in.
Yeah.
So, again, who do I want? Obviously the Sharks. Who do I think? The Kings. Between LA and Nashville, I want Nashville, but something tells me this Kings team is going to make the playoffs, and they're going to probably going to lose to Edmonton in overtime or a shootout. So they get their 20th loser point, and they're going to get in over Nashville.
You think Draisaitl and McDavid have been
Nashville,
bad?
though.
Like, you think McDavid, Draisaitl, dunking on the Kings the last several years have been bad? Watching this Avs team, they would carve them up, man. They would just annihilate them. Like, oh
yeah, I'd much rather see Nashville try and put up a fight against Colorado than the Kings. But again, like, it is Kopitar's last year, so like, good on the Kings if they make it, but they don't deserve to.
I appreciate that they really should have tried to take a step back, retool a bit, but they bought in for Kopitar, and you know what? I respect that. And obviously,
absolutely.
Fiala went down. That was a huge loss for them.
Yeah.
But we'll see where it ends up. I got the Preds. You got the Kings.
I got the
Kings. And then I have
our East is the same.
The East is the exact same. Yeah, we both got the Sens locking up that final spot.
If the Sens don't make it, you had Washington, not the Islanders.
Yeah. Which, frankly, I do think is more like. I think yours is probably a better answer. I think yours is more likely. The Caps have been good lately, and just those other 3 teams have given me very little reason to believe they're going to win some games down the stretch. The Islanders definitely more so than Blue Jackets or Wings. Man, that they both had it right there. They fumbled it. The Wings were in first in the Atlantic for like a month in December.
Yeah, it's that March that always fucks them. And I do like the Washington pick, but for Washington to even make it, they would have to beat the Penguins on that back-to-back, and I have a very hard time seeing them win both those against the Penguins. I think the Penguins win at least one of them, just because apparently the Penguins are unbelievably good.
Apparently they're goal-scoring machines. I can't believe that stat.
Dude, they're goal-scoring machines. They're really fucking good. Pittsburgh Penguins are so good. Best team in the league. Last segment here. As always, we love to wrap things up with a fun game. Braden, for you today, I've got another this or that for you.
Ooh.
If it's your first time here, you're not familiar, I have some scenarios, a couple different ones, and pretty simply, you decide, do you want basically option A or option B? Which one are you picking? There's no hovering in between. Got to be a definitive answer. Braden, are you ready?
I am ready.
First one we got here, this does not tie into any of the other ones, but I wanted to throw it in there because we did discuss it earlier this week, and I'm going to make you decide here. Would you rather have the 7th overall pick in the draft this year or Jesper Wallstedt?
Ooh. Am I just going like blank face? I don't know my situation, or like where's my franchise going? You know?
Well, it's coming from the position of you're the Florida Panthers, basically. Because that's kind of the situation there, and is with the 7th overall pick.
That doesn't change my answer. In fact,
looking for a goalie.
the answer I already want to say that just makes it easier to say. I'm going to go Jesper Wallstedt. People, it's crazy. People underrate the value of goalies, and I simply do not know how. Like, it's fun. Anytime somebody brings up like Celebrini stats and is like, this is why he's the MVP, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if we're really going most valuable player, then the top 10 answers are goalies. Like,
That's fair.
the goal without a good goalie, you're in a tough spot. You can be look how good the Sens are. If you can't get a save.
Look at Carolina though.
True, but they've been getting goaltending. Not elite
good
goaltending, and not necessarily consistently, but
it's the product of the team. That's why any goalie thrives there.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Hurricanes,
feel good with all their cups.
Would you rather have an Oilers Hurricanes Cup final or an Avs Hurricanes Cup final?
I'll say Avs Hurricanes because I think the Avs are just the better team, and that's just what I'm going with. Frankly, I think a better series would probably be Edmonton Hurricanes because I think the Avs probably take that in 5, maybe 6. I think it's a lot closer with the Oilers, so that would probably be a better series. But yeah, the Avs are just such a better team that I'm like, it would just be more fun to watch their brilliance than a close game between a little bit lesser talent.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, at the end, they obviously want to see McDavid win a cup, but it is kind of the thing of just fatigue, and I've kind of just got Oilers fatigue at this point.
That's the thing. I've got that working against me for both these teams, I feel like, because, I mean, not only have the Avs won a cup, but also they've been at the top of the league for a good bit, so even if they haven't been constantly getting to the finals, it's still...
The only time they got out of the second round, though, they won the cup. It's always, usually for them, second round exits. Would you rather have a Buffalo-Dallas Cup final?
Oh, that's tough to beat.
Or a Montreal-Minnesota Cup final?
Man, those are two really good ones. I am going to go Dallas-Buffalo, though.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty easy.
I think the heat behind the Sabres would just be insane. And then, obviously, Dallas, 3 straight conference finals. In 2020, they made it to the finals. 3 straight conference finals. And they made it to the Stanley Cup finals in 2020. And they're just one of those teams, like, they're in a similar spot to Carolina, where they keep being good but not winning the cup. Except, I feel like people still have a ton of confidence in Dallas. I don't think that's quite there anymore for Carolina.
And Buffalo-Dallas Cup final. Dallas, the 99 throwback jerseys, which it's not confirmed, but we really like those jerseys they came out with this year. They might become Dallas's full-time jerseys.
I wouldn't be shocked.
They did
People
announce
don't seem to love their regular home jerseys.
Yeah, and Dallas did announce they'll be wearing those throwback jerseys for the playoffs this year at home, and they even used them for their team photo this year as opposed to their green home. So
you don't do that unless you love the jersey. Like
exactly.
You don't,
right? Last cup final matchup here. Would you rather have a Penguins Vegas Cup final or a Senators Mammoth Cup final?
Jesus Christ. I'm just trying to think
of a couple of just fucking really, really bad finals.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of
some shitters.
What's the world like where these are the two teams that made it on either side? I mean, it'd be cool to see Crosby in the finals one more time.
But it is against Vegas.
But I don't want to see Vegas get there. Utah Sens, I don't dislike either of the teams as much as Vegas, but
it'd probably be pretty fucking boring.
It just feels weird. It feels too early for either of them, you know?
It just doesn't feel like a cup final. It'd be hard to get excited about it.
Yeah.
It'd still be good hockey, but it's just the excitement level would not be there.
I'm gonna go Ottawa, Utah, just because I think that is more fun for surprise factor, and also there's there's less chance of me being annoyed by who wins. I don't want to see Vegas win, especially, they bring in Carter Hart and stuff like, they don't really want to see that win. And as well, I think Utah could use a good boost. And at the end of the day, there's a 50-50 chance that the cup comes to Canada. So there's also that.
Would you rather a Lightning Sabres first round matchup or a Lightning Habs first round matchup?
Ooh. So this obviously comes from a Lightning fan. So this probably is a bit more to who do I think the Lightning would do better against than what is a more entertaining matchup. Because I think Lightning versus Sabres is probably more entertaining. I would rather have the Habs in the first round.
And then you still got Buffalo round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the figure you go.
Senators can knock them around a bit.
I thought we'd confirm. Vegas Anaheim first round or Oilers Anaheim first round, Edmonton Anaheim first round matchup?
Vegas Anaheim. I think that's closer.
Okay.
I think both are good defensive teams, but they have that offensive upside. I think there's a good bit more offense on the side of Anaheim, but better defense on the Vegas side. I think that would be a fun clash of styles.
I'm not saying something because Vegas' defense has been pretty rough, but Anaheim's has been pretty awful lately. So yeah, no, I think you're.
But they got the goalie in net.
Yeah,
they got Dostal.
Game 7. Who would you rather have, Cole Caulfield or Wyatt Johnston?
That is a great question, and I don't feel great about it because either guy I'm picking, I'm leaving off a really talented player. I would go with Cole Caulfield. Wyatt Johnston scored very pivotal goal in Game 7 last season. He was the one goal that Rantanen didn't score. He was the one where Rantanen assisted on it. But Cole Caulfield has simply too many clutch goals for me to not pick him in a Game 7. Like he's one of those guys where the game gets big and he puts on his big boy pants and says, "Let's fucking go." And I think he's going to be a killer in the playoffs.
Game 7, Marty Necas or Matt Boldy?
That's tough. I think Necas is a better overall player, but Matt Boldy's really good for his age. Scored a goal in the gold medal game. Like he can perform under pressure. Marty Necas. I like Necas better as a player. I'm gonna go Matt Boldy. I can't think of a time where Necas has shown up in a game similar to that.
Who would you rather get the first overall pick? The Blackhawks or the Rangers?
Jeez, can I vote for the meteor to hit the Earth?
Nope.
I'm gonna go Blackhawks, I guess.
You'd rather have Blackhawks over Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think if it goes to the Rangers, not only do I not really like the Rangers, I think we just see an incredibly fun young talent go there and not have a great time, and that's not fun. I don't like the Blackhawks, but at least that player will get to play and do good things. And they're taking Gavin McKenna. Most teams would, but then we would get Bedard McKenna, which is fun. Wouldn't be fun once they're both good together, but.
All right, so if you're going with Chicago, I'm going to have to change this last one up slightly. First overall, Rangers or Panthers?
It's Rangers.
Yeah,
it's Rangers. I was definitely expecting Panthers in the first one, so.
No, I had to say, because I had to figure out. I actually thought you were going to say Rangers for the first one. So the second one I did have was Chicago, Florida. But that was all of my this or that's for this episode. And that brings us to the end of the episode. We're coming in just at the hour and a half mark, which is always good for us. If yeah, that is the end of the episode. If you want to talk hockey, let us know your thoughts on anything we talked about or anything we didn't, or just give us your predictions on who you think snag those final playoff spots. You can do so through any of our socials. They are linked down below or over on YouTube as well. Braden, these playoffs are coming up quick, starting not this weekend, but the following weekend. Pivotal games, every game is basically like a must watch and really can determine the standings here. It's going to get wild, but as always, final thoughts.
Final thoughts? NHL. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing with that schedule? The final Friday of the season has 0 games on it. I believe the last regular season games are wrapped up on Thursday. Unless my app's just not going that far. But I did see that they have no games on that final Friday, and just like you could have saved us. You could have saved us a little something.
But
right on that Friday.
But who would play? You can't have teams play and then immediately the next day go into the playoffs, because playoffs start on Saturday. It's like you couldn't have Tampa and Buffalo finish the regular season on a Friday and then jump right into the playoffs on Saturday.
I guess, but I don't know. Start the playoffs on the Friday then, you know? What? There should be something fun happening on that Friday. I'm going to be blue-balled out of my mind. But
Friday, we're going to be probably potentially recording for the playoffs, because what we got on Thursday. There are, I mean, when you look at it, there's teams like Anaheim, Nashville, LA, San Jose, Winnipeg, all those games going on Thursday, so wouldn't make sense to record in the morning because there's no guarantee we know what the matchups are. So probably be recording on the Friday and getting all the puffs. So it'll be a work day for us. There will be no fun, no play. I'll work over here, so you better be ready for that.
All right.
And please, no blue balls.
No blue balls, please. Please, no blue balls. 5 minutes for blue balls.
I'll give you another final thought, because your first final thought was ass.
So, okay, thank you. Because I did have one other thing.
Hey, there we go.
I wanna do a little. I'm gonna do a quick Tankathon NHL draft lottery sim, just for fun. I'm gonna do a quick sim here. For those who don't know, Tankathon is the website.
Panthers.
They have all the current stats, all the current odds, and it's already got them auto sorted by draft lottery odds. There's a big button that says Sim Lottery, and it shows if people moved up, down based on the actual odds. Sim Lottery. Yeah. Oh man, it's thinking. The Winnipeg Jets move up 8 points and get the first overall pick. That's a fun bit of a universe there.
I'm okay with that.
That's interesting. That's an old team getting a good young player all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Gavin McKenna from Whitehorse?
Whitehorse, so Winnipeg will be...
If there's anybody who could be used to living somewhere like Winnipeg, it's a guy from north of Alberta and BC, right?
Yeah. That'd be fun. I would like that. I would like.
That's not bad.
At the end of the day, I do want to see Gavin McKenna. I do want to see him go to a Canadian team, whether that's even Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, Winnipeg. Like, I would like one of those.
Frankly, him going to Toronto would be cinema. Who the fuck knows how that's ending? Who has any clue?
Yeah. Like, would be something.
People would be saying the league looks rigged. I don't know, man. I still don't have faith in them to do good. We'll see how it goes. That'd be fun.
At least with the draft lottery, at least they do it. They do it live, so that keeps everybody from claiming that it's rigged. Which, again, I never thought it was, but it does kind of shut down that argument of people being like, "Oh, my team didn't win. It's rigged," and it's like,
no, but sometimes it's like, it is crazy. We all knew that Chicago was going to get Bedard when they had the third best odds for it. Like, it's crazy. We all knew, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's.
I'm not saying it's necessarily rigged. I'm just saying it's crazy. We like everyone you talked to said it like a foregone conclusion that it happened, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Third best odds. Like, that's that's still pretty decent odds, right? It's not outlandish, but like it is also a fun coincidence. It's like talking about
it
ghosts.
is.
I don't know what the answer is.
No, absolutely. But then the NHL 3 hours later just dropped the video of them doing it and said, "Take this and shut up." And then people are like, "Oh, all right." Yeah, draft lottery. That's not till May though. I think actually, I think it's like May 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in there.
Really? Does it go on during the playoffs?
Yeah, usually sometime during the first round of the playoffs.
During the first round? Oh, shit.
Yeah, they'll usually do it on... it actually might be May 4th. I think they usually like to do it on like a Monday, and they'll do it at, the first game started at 5 o'clock our time, Mountain Time. So they'll do the draft lottery at like 4:30. And that'll be like the 4:30 to 5 o'clock program before the hockey games start. So,
right.
So yeah, I think it's like beginning of May though. They'll do it. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that race. But that is it for this episode. We do want to thank all of you for tuning in as always. Enjoy the games this weekend. We will. If you want to talk hockey again, you know where to find us. And as always, we will see all of you hockey freaks out on the ice next week.